Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Battlegrounds Lobby Legends. Thanks for sticking with us in that long break. We needed a break. The players needed a break. And honestly, Sottle, we needed a break from each other. We were getting a little heated. And I want to put that aside. Just have some fun casting some Battlegrounds. No points talk. No nothing talk. Just some good old-fashioned Battlegrounds. And I'm not saying this at all because my fantasy team were all in the bottom 4 in the last game. Don't even say it. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this because I'm already well behind in points for the day. I am, but that's not why I'm saying this. Okay? I'm saying it because I really do think we should just take a step back and think about what's important here.
You nearly got through it. You nearly got through the whole transparently manipulative plea to the higher ground. It was almost believable, but then just with the finishing line in sight, you broke, TJ, and unfortunately...
It's always the case. I always break. I can't not break. The only time I haven't broken was... Nobody that's watching this show is going to remember, but back in the 2015 HET circuit, I think it was, or 2016, when I wasn't a caster, I was just an analyst, and I just had my own little sidebar. They called it the sidebar. It was just a tiny little desk, and for 3 minutes every couple hours, they'd come over to me, and they'd say, do some analysis, quick. And instead, I'd put on dumb costumes and make a fool of myself. And because I was so dedicated to that craft of putting on dumb costumes and making a fool of myself, I never broke. Not once. Not a single time during those broadcasts. And now look at me. I'm losing in points to Sottle.
I know, what a fall from grace. But speaking of points, there are far more important ones at stake, and those are the points that our players are playing for, looking first to reach 20 to get the lobby into check, and then from there to win a lobby. If you are just joining us after that extended break, we are now in the position where a couple of players have that check mark in their reach. Sliders is just 2.5 points away. Solar is 5.5 points away, so both of those have the ability to get the lobby in check this time around. And Sliders is given the Millhouse. That is exactly the kind of thing you are looking for.
Hold on. Let's see what's in first.
Doesn't matter.
It matters.
I mean,
a whole heck of a lot.
It does matter, yes. But Millhouse is still Millhouse.
Okay.
Pirates in, Elementals out. Those are the first two you're really looking at, I think, when you are dealing with Millhouse. But I do
Beast out too, which is and Demons out too, which is also, I think, fine for Millhouse.
Yeah, sure.
Those are two of the less likely. Sometimes you can go Demons with Millhouse, but I feel like that's more inconsistent in terms of just like raw power later stages.
So generally with Millhouse, you want to be playing economy comps, you want to be playing buy-sell comps, and you don't want to be playing rolling comps. So for example, Leapfroggers, that's a rolling comp. You roll until you find individual pieces that then exponentially improve the status of your board. And you get Parrots, Golden Frogs, Find a Baron, Golden the Baron. These are all things that you just roll for and then buy the pieces. That's what Millhouse is bad at. What Millhouse is good at is playing Nomi, playing Hoggar, playing Theatar, anything that encourages you to buy and sell a bunch of minions. So generally the minion types that are in should support that for the best possible Millhouse success. But if your target is just to get a top 4, which it kind of is for Sliders right now, I'd take Millhouse over basically everything else in the game, regardless of minion types.
Yeah. And one other thing to note about this particular lobby, 41 armor.
Okay,
at the beginning.
Yeah,
41 compared to the first lobby of the, or was it second lobby of the day? I think it might have been second lobby of the day, which we had 13 armor. That's a discrepancy of 28 armor between those two lobbies. So a lot of very conservative hero choices. Obviously, you know, that's a little bit disingenuous because sometimes you're only offered higher tier. But a lot of players going with the higher armor tier heroes, and I guess not really rolling higher, right? Kun King, I guess.
Yeah.
because Yogg is 3 to 6. But definitely a very different one from what we've seen. And overall, like relatively low, like raw power heroes coming into this one too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a Curator, Yogg Saron,
Yeah,
Zephyrus and Onyxia are middling.
in terms of the roles, though, that's a max health Curator. 48 is the max. Tier 5, 5 to 8 is where Curator is sat. So you do have to factor those things into account. Not uncommon, I think, for players when playing in competition to kind of have a spreadsheet open with all that information available to them so they can kind of evaluate how high or low they are rolling on each individual hero choice for those armor tiers. Very, very relevant, of course. Basic information, but if you did not know this, your quest difficulty is affected principally by your armor tier. There are other factors that go into it. But say the exact same quest reward and quest condition being offered to a player in armor tier 7 versus a player in armor tier 0 will be wildly different in terms of overall difficulty.
Well said, Sottle. Well said. All right, I'm not going to miss this one, but I've been biding my time in terms of bandwagon. Get your bandwagon picks in.
Yes, indeed. Turn 4 is your last opportunity. You can, of course, take a look at the quests if you want, but you do get less points for picking later in the game. I locked in sliders on turn 2. I do still have the option to change now if I see something I like, but we'll be getting less points by taking a turn 4 pick instead.
I'm going with Geoboogie. I feel like we saw a lot of great things from Geoboogie yesterday, and so far today it's been somewhat lackluster. On my Ev, which I think is one of the higher potentials here. 7 battle cries. That's a lot of Battlecry minions.
It is.
But it's Millhouse.
They do only cost you 1 gold each. You have to roll them. That's the difficult part with Millhouse. You do have to find them in the shop, but they are incredibly cheap to buy, sell if you do land them.
All right. Let's see.
I am interested, though, as to what the other offerings were there for the Millhouse, because, again, Sliders is in the position 17.5 points, so only needs 2.5 points this game. Essentially, any extra points he gets this game over the first 2.5 are useless, right? They don't mean anything. He just kind of has to get to check. It's not entirely true because your overall standing and total number of points does affect your final position if you don't win the tournament. But in terms of winning the tournament, the extra points don't actually achieve anything. So he has ended up with what I would describe as a fairly greedy quest overall. So kind of interesting to see what the other options, or to know what the other options were that he turned down to pick that one.
Oh, okay. Well, say afforded this luxury of being able to go pretty quick 3 with Curator. So you generally have more power right off the bat because of the Amalgam, and like you said, rolled the full 9 armor at the very beginning of the game. See if it's going to pay off here. Not really. Oh yeah, blame it on the boogie. It's pretty good. Has some economy minions hero powered and has a triple, which I don't know the order of the shell collector. Oh no, I do know the order because it's left to right. So it's going to be 2 more turns. So can go to 4 and then get a 5 from that triple.
Fairly awkward Togwaggle hero power. It's fine. It's just a little underwhelming. Iron Sensei with nothing to buff right now. Dragon and Whelp Smuggler, but no immediate synergy between the 2 of them. It's a little bit awkward. It's just kind of a pile of stats right now.
There's so much potential with this, though.
Yeah, there is.
There's like so many payoff minions, but none of the minions that go with it to pay it off. Like Khadgar, I guess technically the Bronze Drake could make a difference with Khadgar, but outside of that, there's nothing. but we'll see what the next turn's gonna have in store for Zhen Yu, who still is not doesn't have the potential to put the lobby in check. Still needs at least 2 more, but just needs to get an average of 4 points over the next 2 lobbies in order to get to that 20 points.
Right. Glider's still hanging out at 40 health for now. Goes up to 4 this turn, so I would imagine not a great deal of progress done on the quest just yet, but that is fine. Millhouse does not have to panic on quest completion in the early game because you are going to be stronger than everyone else for the first 5 or 6 turns of the game. That's a shop, though. That is indeed a shop.
Yep.
We would presume quest is on 2, so that's now 3 and 4 in the shop out of the, what was it, 7 total needed? Yes, 7 Battlecry minions total needed.
Oh, heck. Oh, yeah. I feel, I don't know if he's sold and rebought scouts, but these scouts have been here for a couple turns now, so.
Lorinda letting us know Oliek is currently on 13 out of 14 attacks for Smoking Gun as well. So there is an almost certainty he is winning this fight, because as soon as the first attack goes through, the buff is immediate and then applies straight away in combat.
Huh. Yeah, maybe it's the other patient scout, but I thought that one had been there for a while, like since turn 3. But maybe I was wrong. Or maybe he sold the one that was less. Okay, gets a promo Drake from the Rendell.
And there it goes. Smoking Gun applies. So should be favored from here. That Bronze Warden is going to do a lot of work though, however, but that's such a smooth break point. However, the Bronze Warden is still carrying, and I think, yeah, we're going to get a tie here probably because of that last summon. No more summons coming from the Elixir Hero Power, which means this one will tie down. And 6 drop. Theater? Kalagos, fine. Also very acceptable, particularly with the Bronze Warden in the shop. Just needs to get the Hammer reward now, and he will have Golden Kalagos Millhouse to play for the rest of this game from here. Millhouse is just the best. Just the best hero.
Rolling up the sleeves.
Yep.
Which were already rolled up. He's rolling them up again.
Yeah, I mean, it was metaphorical, TJ, you know? It was about sending the message, you know?
Yeah.
Are you on the game?
Alright. Ooh, another Smoking Gun. For Sola here on the patchwork. And just some big lava lurkers. The Smoking Gun's making them look a lot bigger because it looks like the permanent spellcraft that's been on them has been from the angler, so.
Also, this was
large.
Play 7 Naga or Dragons to get to this point, by the way. Which is a pretty quick completion by turn 7 to have played 7 of them. You can see the result of it on the board, sure, but I would say rolling above average in terms of how many were being dealt to him by our beloved Bob.
Bob.
Bob?
Bobbut.
Sorry, there's a certain era of British people that has to say Bob like that because of Rowan Atkinson. And explaining why that is will take much longer than we have. Yeah, if
that Mr. Bean?
That is Mr. Bean, yes, but it's not Mr. Bean that is the reason for it. Yeah, Lorinda instantly posting the accurate GIF. I'm assuming before I even started talking about Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, yeah. That's a big mackerel. Yo, Boogie.
I got
15 is an unfortunate breakpoint. Not out of range of damage cap, but does seem relatively strong.
Yeah.
To get stronger
I got momentarily dizzy there because I came back looking at the pair of dragons and thought we'd gone to the mill house, and then got very confused why the start of the turn was just like 5 rolls, which seemed like an absurd thing to be doing as mill house. But I've figured out what's going on now. I've remembered what day it is and who the president is, TJ. It's fine. There we go. It's more like it. Wait, did you just hit double Razor Gore?
Yep.
As Millhouse on Tavern 5? Are you kidding? Yep. Okay.
That happened. Ooh,
actually,
double Caligos in shop.
Taragosa, you mean?
Taragosa, yeah. So,
Double Caligos in shop would be something entirely different.
yeah, sorry. Double Taragosa. They both have a lick in there, like an X.
Yes. Yeah, indeed.
Taragosa, Caligos. Alec. Great guy. You'd love him.
Bad news for Sliders on Millhouse, though, because I think he's still momentarily out-tempoed here by the last 2 opponents. Took 12 in the last fight, and I would imagine is going to take a hit here again from Smoking Gun, Death Rattles, and Mechano Tank. Yep. So slowly running out of time. Will get there eventually, given enough time with the amount of power he has set up with double Razor Gore, Caligos, and a Golden Hammer incoming sometime in the near future. But currently just getting tempoed out of proceedings, and this was the fear, especially for a player who doesn't need a win, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, that's big damage. Cap, actually, it's a full 15, I believe. Yes, it is. Midas has to get there this turn. Has to get there this turn.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. 0 battle cries. Only has 4 gold left. Okay, there's some gold. There's a battle cry. And that's the best one. Probably just the most stats, but...
Oh, 7 out of 7 as well. That's the final battle cry needed, which means Golden Hammer now comes into play, and the battle cries are huge. Murazond is the juice. Any battle cries on the opponent's board? I don't think so. It was all Death Rattles. Gel Collector is massive. You're double selling for that every day of the week. And then I'm presuming we're going to end on that Amber Guardian just to be able to go max tempo this turn as well. Yeah, saved by the blue shell in the end, right?
Yep. And going up against Kun King, who should be pretty weak. Started off strong, but kicked me out of the dashboard.
What do you mean I kicked you out of the dashboard? I logged into 3, which is where I log in. Were you in 3?
Yeah, I was in 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll go to 1.
I love these meaningless conversations that no one understands, just among ourselves.
Onward, my nautical steed.
Yeah, Kun King, it looks like, just has a bunch of middling step minions and Ultra Meaties. Critter Wrangler, and is that a golden patch bar? We'll see.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but not very high tempo, especially for what we're looking at here. So
gets a very good Divine Shield as well, and dodges, because the Divine Shield was next to a taunt, so it was possible he could have lost the Divine Shield to the Atromades. It means if this now hits a good target, should be enough to live at the very least. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, a tie.
That's going to be a tie.
Yeah, which is good. Good. Golden Hammer complete, so now it can start scaling up.
Oh! Oh, okay. That was real close. Clutch 6-drop killed at the end there, as you can see, surviving by 4 HP in the end.
Yeah. Say down to 1 health. Ooh. Okay. Now we're gonna move over to Sola, who does have an Orgazoa with the double or the triple Lava Lurker on board, but doesn't seem like has the gold for it, at least for now.
Searching for a Thissa. No Thissa found. Walking Fort is a decent second prize with the setup that Sola has right now, though.
Sola's on Tavern Tier 6. Those Oliek.
Sola is playing Patchwork. It's kind of what Patchwork does.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of what Onyxia does too, especially with the start that Oleak had and Smoking Gun with that start.
Exactly, yeah. Smoking Gun as a strategy is generally just be strong until turn 10 and use that to level to 6. And you can see that's exactly what Oleak has done.
Yeah, it's exactly what Soul has done too, also playing Smoking Gun on the patchwork. So
yeah. Especially with Beasts out, right? With Beasts in, you can sometimes get a Tavern 5 Mama Bear strat going with Smoking Gun and just about have enough power to be competitive and get a good, like, third, second place. But with Beasts out, I think you really do have to just rely on Smoking Gun to get you up the Tavern tiers and then find something that wins.
Yep. CCSA churned through a lot of gold here to get a couple. Oh, wow. A lot of triples here, but is running out of time. Needs to come up with a plan quickly.
And is about to presumably get absolutely smoked by this Millhouse, who's going to be twice the size they were last turn. Doesn't get the spellcraft through. How big? Pretty big.
That's not that much bigger.
It's big.
Because the second, a lot of those stats just came from the natural Razor Core buffs.
Oh, sure. Yeah, in terms of improvement from last turn, it's not that big. I was talking in terms of it's much bigger than CCSA is specifically.
Yes,
Yeah.
But just in, like, yeah, improvement from last turn, especially with Golden Caligos. That was probably only like 4 battle cries played, to be quite honest. Maybe even less. All right, Boogie gets the ghost here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take the module, sure. I would imagine nothing being used this turn. No, it looks like, okay, he is going to cycle through. Of course, one of the luxuries you have about playing a ghost is you don't actually have to do anything. You can just hold and make the decision later.
Yeah. Really don't like Buggy's quest. The Blood Goblet.
It's very bad, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if he's put it on the Grease spot, and it has been at low health for quite some time, so it's getting a lot of value out of it. I think that Grease spot actually only has the 2 buffs, and it's already at like 50 attack because of that. Actually, it might even only have 1 buff. So, which is not the kind of power and scaling that you want. Oleak has managed to transition nicely out of whatever that amalgamation of a board was previously, with just as many death rattles as possible on board to get Smoking Gun value.
Is happening here? A lot of raw stats, and the Atromades can certainly do some work in terms of dealing with mechs on the other side. I do think Atromades is a high-value card, something that I'm sure Sliders would have loved to have found already with Millhouse to be in the Dragon buffing package, because this is a mech lobby, very, very valuable tool to have on your side. But this is just raw stats, really, on Kun King's side. That one addition of the Leroy at the end.
Ooh. If that had gone left, that would have been probably the difference maker, honestly. Maybe not the difference maker in terms of winning, but certainly, actually, yeah, it would have been a straight up win if that had gone left into the Lava Lurker instead of right. And Kun King goes...
oh! Where?
Just goes out in 7th, doesn't put the lobby in check.
Where did Gongi come from with this much? Where did this board come from? Golden Hoggar, Dark Gaze Elder, and Agamagam? Oh my goodness.
Zephyrus and extra gold each turn, I guess. That is insane. So there was only one other player that could put the lobby in check. Was it Sola?
Solar, I believe, yes.
Yeah, so Sola needs 5.5 points.
Yep.
I'll be taking that.
Which is a tie for second.
Split between 6 and 5, yeah, that's spot.
Or above, or a win. Didn't seem like Solo was in the win territory, judging by the last time we saw his board.
Right. But there are a lot of murder boards hanging around here. That is not insurmountable that, you know, Gongi can just deal 24 to Oliek right now, right? And like Oliek just gets deleted, Kunking gets deleted, Gyobugi gets deleted, and then suddenly Solo, just by having the right fight and surviving, just might be able to sneak their way into top 3 already.
Yeah. So Shen Yu is actually going up against Sola here. And this is not that big of a board, honestly.
Not, no. Crucially, even if it wins, there's potential for it to be very low damage again, right? Because of the situation with the mechs.
Yeah, Solo had the giant lava lurker with the critter wrangler and Orgazoa. So I think Solo is at least safe now.
Hogar number 4. Infinite gold, Dark Gaze Elder, let's go. Oh, sorry, since the rules don't matter, I could just change my bandwagon to Gongi turn 12, right? And that's fine, because we're just making up the rules these days. That's right, TJ?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Thought you'd get me there, huh? That's where you're wrong. I don't even care.
There's 16 damage if everything remaining still lives, which it looks like it's going to, so not going to be enough to get the kill.
Yeah, I'm curious where this, Oh! Blame it on the Poké.
Yogg goes down.
Sola down to 1!
Yeah, and there was that crucial difference, right? Did lose the fight, but because of all the low-tier minions on board, did not take enough damage to go down.
All right, here we go. Barov's Blessing, pick your winner.
What's happening?
All right, Barov's Blessing, be ready for it later on. I know exactly what happened. Neil put Barov's Blessing up, realized that the two players weren't playing
They weren't playing each other.
Picked another button.
Yeah. And had 5 out of 8 to hit a player that was still in the game and missed the favorable odds. Unlucky.
Unlucky. All right, don't worry. Barov's Blessing will come a little bit later.
Yep.
Good thing I hadn't even typed in my Barov's Blessing pick yet. All right, so Sola. I wonder who Sola is playing against. The reason why I'm focusing on Sola is because Sola, like we said, needs that tie for second or above in order to. Okay, going up against Gyobugi, who actually seems pretty strong. He's been at 4 health for a long time. Had the grease bot with the scaling mackerel. So, pretty powerful. And does have the Ultramedes, so that could do some work. It's got Wind Fury as well.
Yeah, real smart, I think, dumping a bunch of stats onto this Atramedes.
So this could be close, just because of that being able to rip off the Divine Shields. So we'll see what Gyobugi has done since then.
Oh, that's a beautiful first hit. Had to specifically go at the Meckrel so that the attack would actually go through before the Divine Shield reset kicked in. Absolute best attack available on the board. And I think that is enough from here, depending on these resets. As long as you now don't go into the reset, which you do. But no, still enough.
Still enough.
Yep.
All right, the Ultramedes coming in clutch there. Big deal. And Gyobugi's going to fall. It is going to be the very worst 5th. We'll see if anybody else falls as well. Nope. There's going to be a 5th. Sola inching up there. And Oliek's fall from grace has been quite substantial. Was at 42 for a very long time and then just hasn't been able to find the footing.
Yeah, a few turns ago, Lorinda was alerting us to the fact that Oliek was at 42, I believe, 40 health, 2 armor. One of our puzzle box questions for the day is 38 health or above. Will a game be won by a player who has 38 health or above? And at that point, Oliek was at 42 on Tavern 6 and had just found Omega Buster and Baron and was looking like they might actually take a real run at winning the lobby. It's been straight downhill from there because this is not now looking competitive against some of the other things that we have in the lobby.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Oliek's really made many improvements. And to be honest, it's kind of what you'd expect from Smoking Gun, right? You really have to turn that early game tempo into something big quickly.
Yeah. Okay, second Buster is infinitely better than a third Kangors.
Yeah. I feel like you almost never get value from a Golden Kangor.
No, it's one of the worst triples in the game, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, sometimes actively detrimental. I'd rather have this, where you have two separate normal Kangors, than the Golden Kangor.
So I believe Solar has the Gongi matchup this turn, which means that Solar is probably dying this turn unless something spectacular happens. So we'll see how this one pans out. Hard one to call this. Would have made a good Barrel's Blessing, you know?
Hey, Baron going down, that's big. But there's a lot of Omega Busters.
Yeah, it's too much. Too many Busters left, I believe. Two more to go down. Even without anything, just dumping into the Divine Shield and then a reset coming out from the Busters. Still two more Busters to come from the Kangors as well.
Yeah.
Still one more Buster to come from the Kangors.
Ola went down as well, so no checks after 4 lobbies.
Yep.
I believe. The Zhenyu was the next closest, and Zhenyu was at 12.
That's correct.
So...
Yeah, okay. We get it. You're mechs. You summon things. We understand. It's fine. We can move on. Come on. You can do it.
He summons even more things.
You can do it. Come on. I believe in you. You can win this fight.
There it is. We got there. Good chunk of damage, not enough though. Gonna be the 15. So still got our 3 players left. Gongi seems definitely the front runner. We haven't even checked in with Gongi recently, and Gongi was already huge the last time we looked at his board. So, oh yeah, that's some stats, all right.
Oh yeah. Looking close. Okay, in Oliek's defense, he does still have 10 gold to play with. And he will certainly look over and see Quillboard's 5 or whatever this is reporting at based on the previous term, which means he knows huge stats are the order of business. So whether he starts to pivot into Leroy's and Mantids and so on from here, which he is almost certainly going to need, we will wait and see. But unless something very special happens, I don't think these Busters are getting there anytime soon.
Gongi has a hand full of tech cards. And is not playing a single one. Got 2 Selflesses, a Baron, a Leroy. What's on the far left?
Second Bristleback Knight.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yep. And Uther. How'd you notice that, Subtle?
I know, I literally just typed the wrong name. Yeah. Whew, that was a close one. Imagine if this is now just the scammiest mech fight you've ever seen in your life and Oliek actually wins.
Possible.
You'd need...
Even if it's the scammiest mech fight ever, I still don't think you get through 391 health.
I think if you attacked shield, reset, shield, reset, shield, reset for the entire fight, you might get there. Even then, maybe not.
I mean, it's been pretty close to that. Like, not ideal hits, but pretty good hits thus far, and still is going to fall. So down to our top 2 now. Well, maybe, unless Shenyu loses to the Ghost.
You can beat this Ghost.
I can beat this Ghost. You can't beat that Ghost.
Yeah,
Beat the Ghost.
Right. This is more like it. Like, it's a significantly weaker board overall, but it has 2 Mantids on it already, which at least gives it a hope in hell of being able to deal with what Gongi is trying to do.
Wait. He spent all his gold already.
Just chilling.
Before we even got to spent it all. This is my board. Deal with it.
What's going on out here?
Meanwhile,
I can hear Gongi's noises right now. Ooh. Ah.
I think he may also be fighting against the rather pedestrian pace these actions and animations are going through at the moment. Again, this is a Europe server event, so everyone not from the European region is playing on the Europe server, and all the extra issues with increased latency that brings in to high action turns like this.
So many shinies. This be the life.
Ha! You want a tussle? Leroy!
Yeah, throwing a Leroy at the end.
And we have seen some numbers today already. We've had like 800s fighting each other. Now there's this board from Gongi. Like, we are pushing the limits today.
Ooh. Okay, good.
Yeah, needed more of those poisons up front, I would argue. You want them attacking into the 400, not being attacked into by the smaller minions, the Mantids on Junyu's side. Again, he can't really know that in this situation. You could argue that you could intuit it by seeing Quillball 5 or whatever you're looking at and imagining that they're going to have a big duo.
All right.
But regardless.
That'll be Gongi taking the win. A much-needed win, actually, after the start from Gongi. Not doing so hot up until this point. And has to be also feeling good by the fact that nobody's put the lobby in check after 4. So definitely in a good spot in terms of ability to win. Just keep getting those firsts. So that was a pretty weird one, honestly. I guess the minion types kind of lended itself to that.
Well, I think what made it a little weird is that Gongi just kind of snuck up on us out of nowhere. You know, like that meme from the red carpet where it's like Jason Momoa sneaking up on Henry Cavill from behind? Like, that was that game. Like, Henry Cavill was sliders on Millhouse, who we all thought was going to scale out of the game. And then Gongi just snuck up behind him, murdered the Millhouse, and then we looked at the board and we're like, okay, where on earth did this come from? Because he was just already 3 times as big as anyone else in the lobby and absolutely scaling out of his mind. So from there, it was a pretty straightforward conclusion. Mechs basically all the way down in terms of all the fights he then had to take from that point. And it doesn't matter, like 30-30 to 60-60 Deflectos are going to have to reset 5 or 6 times each to be able to find their way through this board, which is just never going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like Gongi like took out the front runners early. And so once we got towards the end, like the top 3, top 4, what we had left was players that maybe shouldn't have been contenders based on their boards, but, you know, faced Gongi a little bit earlier on and got it out of the way. So, like, I feel like if we just went by strongest potential boards, if given an extra turn or 2, it would have been like Sliders and Geoboogie. Because Geoboogie was mechs, but actually had the scaling with the 2 grease spots.
Oh. All right.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
Now we're getting close.
Oh, Gongi. Oh, 7.5 points away. So close from a one lobby check situation. So we're guaranteed to have one player next game.
Yes, we are.
Wait. Yes, we are.
Yeah, because even if someone ties for 0.5 or whatever, that still means the next player's getting 2 after.
Is getting
point,
2.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So even if it was Sliders and Sola tying for 7th and then Shenyu getting 6th, Shenyu would still be the one to put the lobby in check in that scenario. So we are going to get to, was it at least 6 or was it more than 6? The puzzle box question.
I am not entirely sure. I think more than 6 specifically.
I'm looking. I haven't found it. Where did I put it?
Yeah, will we play more than 6 games today?
Okay. So we're not guaranteed that yet. We're guaranteed to get a 6th lobby, but we're not guaranteed to have more than 6 today. And it's very likely that we have multiple players. Very, very likely that we have multiple players put the lobby in check.
Ooh,
in the very next game.
actually, just in terms of accuracy, if they tie for 6th, 7th, 8th, that would be 0 points, 1 point, 2 points, split between 3 players, so they'd get 1 point each. Yeah.
Okay, so we're not guaranteed, but it's very, very likely that we have a player with the lobby in check, and also likely that we have multiple players put the lobby in check going into the next game. So. And then we're looking at a one and done if we want that for in terms of that puzzle box question. The player would have to win a lobby immediately after putting it in check in order for us to not have more than 6. So, did we both say yes for that question? No, we didn't. That was one that we differed on, right?
No, I said yes, and you said yes to everything, so I think...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to bring you down with me, so I'm hoping for 6.
Okay, good.
Because, if we have less points, then the point differential looks bigger. Wait, no, I want to bring you up with me.
Yeah, you want to bring... Yeah, that doesn't...
I'm hoping for 7. No, wait, I'm still hoping for 8. 8 was my number that I went with at the beginning. I'm going to stick with 8. 8 is my sweet spot, because then we're probably going to have 3 or 4 players with the lobby in check. That's what it gets exciting. And you know what's not exciting? The fact that we got to go to a break. So, unfortunately. It is going to be a short one, but before we jump into that Lobby 5, we are going to have to go to a break. So don't go anywhere. More here from Lobby Legends right after this.